Gonna go over like comfortability and why comfortability, can absolutely kill you, right? It quietly ruins you. This is the tricky part because am I saying like be uncomfortable, be anxious all the time, live in stress, this and that? No, 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 no. That is not it. This is why your purpose comes into play, right? What is your purpose? Because once you have a purpose, then all the bullshit you have to go through makes sense, right? All this shit you have to go through. And when we get comfortable, it's like I always talk about, guys, that we have to, our mind is like a thermostat. Bob Proctor said it. As soon as we set a goal, we hit that goal and we get comfortable. And then just like a fucking house, the thermostat shuts off, that motherfucker gets a little cold, and then it kicks back on and you go back up. We need to reset our goals to keep growing. That's how, comfortability, it feels good now and it costs you a whole bunch later. It's you avoiding the person that you're really trying to be, right? And what do I mean by that? It's very easy, if you guys, a lot of the new guys, I see some brand new faces in here. Welcome, guys. I appreciate you guys showing up. But if you're new, you're starting to get a VA or you're starting to do all the outreach yourself and you're starting to hit a wall, it can be very easy to drift back into what we know. Focus back on my 9 to 5, get into that comfortability. That's also where bad habits tend to come up a lot. Like your environment is everything. I tell you guys what, since I moved into this warehouse, me and Levon got this push-up challenge going on. We're supposed to do a minimum of 100 push-ups a day in here. We did 770 the other day because we were trying to argue with each other to get out. We're already up to 300 a day, and it's like we do things like that and setting goals daily and writing things down. Like one thing I recently started doing, you guys all know I got this, right here, I show you every week, my gratitude list book. Okay, I about got to get a new one. This shit's full, guys. So what I started doing is first thing in the morning, I write down 5 things I'm grateful for the day to get my mindset right. And then what I do when I leave work or at the end of my day, I write down 5 more things I'm grateful for from that day. It's crazy. Some guy, I used to see him in Alcoholics Anonymous when I used to go there, right? And I remember when he came out of prison. Now he owns one of the biggest roofing companies in the nation. He's a very inspirational guy, and I heard him say he recently started doing in his gratitude list, including things from the last 24 hours. And that has been very good for me because it gets easy to get lost in shit. And like when we're picking out things from the specific day, it helps us be in the moment more, be more present, right? Be more clear and also more aware of like if there's something going on in my life that I don't like. Now, comfort, it delays discomfort today and charges interest later. Okay. Most people confuse peace and with not being challenged, right? When I'm very peaceful under stress. I'm very peaceful, like when things aren't like when my back's against the wall. Like, there's been a lot of times after I've quote unquote made it, right? Where I've had my back against the wall, right? Because like, as you guys know too, it costs money to make money. And not every decision we make is a good decision. But guess what? I don't fucking quit. I flourish in that environment. I learn from those times, right? And a lot of times, comfort just, it gets everybody, right? It's important. That's why I go to the gym every day. That's why I read a certain amount every day. That's why I do certain things every day. So I remember, and I'm always appreciative of where I'm at, or at least as much as I can be. Because at the end of the day, let's be honest with ourselves. It's fucking impossible to always be happy all of the time, right? That's just not a possible thing, and the effort we put into stuff is what we get out. My business, Cause and Effect LLC, that's why it's called that. I write it down every day. What you put into something is the result you get out. Your input will equal your output. Okay. So if you're skipping workouts, you're having a half-ass workout, you're not going to get the results as if you're going in there giving it your all. If you're avoiding hard conversations, right? That's going to build relationship or build resentments and destroy relationships. If you put off your goals, that's going to build self-doubt inside of you, which is going to erode your identity. Okay. It is very important that we always stay focused because also you are always working. So I always try to be who I am in 5 years. Like that's who I'm aspiring to be, right? Like I'm always chasing myself in a sense because like I have a vision of exactly where I want to be, what I want to be doing. Like fucking whole family taken care of. Fucking, I got a very cool thing I want to do with some of my friends. There's just like a lot of things that I hold in my head very, very clearly. And I am, every day I show up for myself, I am creating that person that I'm trying to be 5 years from now. Because if I don't do today what I know I need to do in order to get where I want to get in 5 years, guess what? 5 years from now, I'm going to be 5 years older and pissed off. That's about it. That's about it. Like, I talk to a lot of people that are interested in starting this business. I talk to a lot of people more than one time because nobody can make a fucking decision on their life. And that shit is going to hold you back. As entrepreneurs, you need to be able to make decisions right away. Pivot when you have to, right? Because shit happens. Shit happens. Now, we grow into the goals that we have, right? And it's like, you know, I was meeting with someone earlier and they're trying to get their goals figured out. And they're like, I want to have goals that like make me nervous. You should. One of my goals is to do $1 million in revenue by July in one of my businesses, right? Like I have very big goals this year and it's making me very nervous because like I gotta fucking work, right? But like also with that comes, I have to work, yes, but I also have to be a father. I also have to be a good boyfriend. I also have to be a good son, a good brother, a good boss, a good grandson, you know? So like, I have to remember all of that. That gets very hard for me sometimes because in my mind, sometimes it's like, I'm trying to do all this stuff so I can be a better son, so I can be a better boyfriend, father, all these things. But at the end of the day, like the most important thing we can give to the people we love is just our time. It's just us, but not just us, a fucking clear us, like a calm, peaceful us, especially if we have kids, right? Like when I was doing drywall, I would just come home, piss off every day. And where did that go? It went down to my kids, you know? And like, that took a lot of work to undo after I started making a change in myself. I've always been a great dad, but like I wasn't always like I didn't walk in the door happy and you know shit like that. You guys, you know, but I have little girls. You know, so like that's also like I gotta be, you know, a certain way with them. So like that has been the thing I'm the most proud of, and the thing I will always be the most proud of, you know, it is my kids. But we have to remember we're growing into the person we want to be. And I say it all the time too. If you guys want an extraordinary life, don't expect to do ordinary shit. Just don't. What comes with not doing ordinary shit? Everybody doubting you. What the fuck are you doing? Why are you trying to do this? Everybody doubts you. You know, I got a phone call today from my best friend. He told me his mom called him today crying because she saw me on Instagram and said how proud she was of me. And like, I don't know why that's making me so emotional, but like that happens often. And like, guess what? I dealt with a lot of fucking bullshit to get here. Like, I was very fucking broken as a person, you know, for multiple different reasons when I started doing this. And like, I saw some guy at the gym who I haven't seen in years. I used to ride dirt bikes with. Telling me like, man, I saw you got that warehouse. He said, man, I'm so happy for you. And that's what people are always going to say. I always knew you'd make it. I always knew you were going to do it.